Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Hot Honey Podcast. As you know, I'm Tim Rerucha, and I am joined today with a special guest from Los Angeles, California, Scott Alda Coffey. Welcome to the show. I don't know if you can hear that standing ovation in the background right now. But we do have about 1,000 people in the audience right now.
Good. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. No. So why don't we just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the elephant in the room right off the bat. Your middle name. The folks at home may not realize that yet, but your middle name that you prominently display is Alda.
Yes, I am Alan Alda's grandson. I know.
Somebody roll the Jeffersons theme. The Hot Honey Podcast is moving on up. Well, it's an absolute pleasure. Our producer knows you and is related to you, one of our producers, and it was very generous of you to come on the podcast and chat.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here.
You have striking eyes. Let's just look at that. No wonder you book stuff all the time. Other than, well, I have to ask you that. Do you get, do you get maybe a little help sometimes being Alan Alda's grandson?
A little bit. It definitely can, it can definitely open some doors for me. It can't book me the job, but it can, I've been lucky enough where I've gotten to meet some good people through that connection.
Hey.
It doesn't hurt.
It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Exactly. And it doesn't help. And I mean, it does help that he's well liked too. So people want to like.
He is. You know. He's not only a phenomenal actor, but he's also seems like a genuinely very nice guy.
He is.
And I was doing a little homework on because I didn't realize that. And again, we're only going to talk about that for a second because it is about you. But I didn't realize. Number one, he's 90.
Yeah, he just turned 90 this year.
Wow.
A few months ago.
That's
which is
awesome. Wild. And he's still going strong. I never realized that he was born Alfonso Joseph de Abruzzo.
Yes.
That's his real name.
That's his real name, yeah.
Interesting.
His dad came from Italy. And his dad came up with the Alda name. So the Alda name is technically fiction. It doesn't have a long lineage. It's merely my great-grandfather's generation, really.
Very cool. And of course, yes, for those of you that are slow, we do have some people in our audience that are just like, what? It was the star of MASH. Okay, so now you're caught up. But let's talk about you, Scott Alda Coffey. You have a movie coming out next week, a matter of fact.
Yes, I do. Lucky Strike. It is a World War II movie. It takes place during the Battle of the Bulge. And it's starring Scott Eastwood and Colin Hanks.
Yeah, I watched the trailer before you came on. It's intense.
Yeah.
It looks good. It's a Lucky Strike opens in theaters June 26th. And you filmed your part. How long were you on set?
I was there about 2 weeks, and we shot in Bulgaria.
Yes. Bulgaria. Yes. How was that? What was that like?
Good. It was actually my second film I shot in Bulgaria. I know. Don't mean to brag.
Me, Mr. Alda.
So this was the second war film in there as well. So
Outpost was the other. Yes.
The Outpost, correct.
I do my homework.
Impressive. Yes, it's the same team. It's the same director, also starring Scott Eastwood, same production company. So it was a lot of even the same crew, which was really nice. So it was a lot of just coming back and seeing the same people, which definitely helped, I think, just jumping into it. But Bulgaria is cool. It's interesting. The Outpost was shot mainly in like the mountains of Bulgaria, and this was shot kind of like in like the woods. So it was like a totally different area, really.
Are you a woodsy person or are you a city person?
I'm more a city person.
Okay.
So it was definitely, and also this time we shot because it was the Battle of the Bulge, which took place, for those who don't know,
I just keep hearing Bulge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little sarcastic at times, but I'm not apologizing.
the Battle of the Bulge takes place in during Christmas in 1944. So because of that, we shot in November and December, and it was very, very, very cold.
Like New Jersey this year.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
That was
that's
brutal.
coming up from the East Coast. It wasn't that bad. And also, the director kept warning me. He's like, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be a really, really, really tough winter. And it was like cold, but like they also, I'm like weighted down by this like these heavy equipment and like layers of gear. Like to me, it actually ended up getting really hot in the stuff. I kept wanting to take it all off just because I was just in so many layers.
Yeah.
But it was very cold there in general during the shoot.
Cool. So I have to ask you,
yeah,
because it is an intense film, and it definitely looks like it's going to be one of those ones you think about for a while afterwards. How does your acting process change when you're portraying real people rather than fictional characters?
I feel like when portraying real people, there's an added kind of weight that goes onto it of it's not just like you want to make a good movie, but now you want to do justice to the person you're playing. What was this especially tough is when I did The Outpost. I was portraying a real American soldier that was killed in action, and for that I spoke with the family of the guy, and that was very helpful and very impactful because you're meeting the people that person impacted, and who knew him really well. But it was but it also, if you just want to do right by him and you want to do right by the families, you want to you want to show as much respect as possible, which gets tricky and tough. And then on top of that, then there's a real person too to model your research. And then I had like questions I could ask the family of like, what was his favorite music? His passion was the military for that one. So then I started to learn more about his upbringing and stuff like that. So like the research changed in that respect, opposed to like when you're doing a completely original character, and it can so much of it can come from your imagination, from what's not on the page.
Right. Awesome. Absolutely correct. No, there's no right answers here. It's just so with Lucky Strike, what was one of your favorite moments from shooting Lucky Strike?
Probably I enjoy shooting action sequences. So we have one big action sequence that I'm a part of, which it just involved like diving over the side of there was like a kind of like a little like hilly mound sort of thing in the woods. And I'd like kind of like a hilly mound, the technical term.
Sounds like a protected forest, national monument, hilly mound.
The National Hilly Mound. Jumping down there and like as we're being shot at, and and I'm looking up with my binoculars trying to pinpoint where the fire is coming from, and that was fun to do because it almost feels like I'm a kid again, in the sense of just like getting to play around and like
right, because you're so old,
right, because I'm so old, back in my youth days. But
so you like action. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fun. And then this is something I don't get to do too often, so it's fun to do it the few times I've done war.
I'll circle back to that because you said is like one of your favorite things to do. We have a segment called Sticky Notes where it's going to be a speed round of asking you quick questions and you don't have time to think. You just have to answer.
Right.
That's coming up at the end. So, a question just popped into my head because, there's so much ammunition and artillery and weapons in your movie. I would imagine, I mean, not that it isn't usually very strict and protocols. But with the recent mishap in Rust with the Baldwin, I forget which Baldwin.
That one was Alec.
Thank you. Did it seem like that there was extra
It's interesting.
Protocol or just normal?
This one was very different than when I shot the Outpost, because the Outpost I shot pre-Rust and this I shot post-Rust.
Okay. So
and in this one I noticed, and again, this could have been a cost-affecting thing, but it also could have been a safety thing, where I noticed they were much more on who does what, in the sense that I was firing weapons all the time in the Outpost. I didn't fire a single weapon in this one.
Well, that's all the time we have for you now.
Yeah.
You didn't fire a gun. You just walked around in hot equipment on the hilly mound.
Exactly. And it's like I carried my weapon, and the only one they had, they were very, very meticulous with who shot a weapon when. And I did notice when I did the Outpost, they were very, very about that, in the sense that when I was given a weapon, I had to watch the I kid you not, in Bulgaria, our armorer, or the guy who handles all the weapons and everything, was a one-legged Bulgarian man that always smoked a cigar. No joke.
That's what I'm going to be for Halloween this year. A one-legged Bulgarian man that smokes a cigar.
You can't make that stuff up.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. He was, ex, Bulgarian military, and but there was a lot of very intense safety protocols, in the sense that I every time I was handed a hot weapon, I had to watch him put load the weapon with the bullets, put the magazine in, and also it was always the exact amount of bullets that I was going to fire, and it was very, very choreographed on where I was shooting and how I was doing it. So everything was so meticulously done that I couldn't undo the safety until action,
Until one leg told you it was okay.
Until one leg told me to. So it was very, 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 very meticulous.
But that's the way I would think it is. And I've been on sets before and things like that, and occasionally held a gun. Did I ever fire a gun? Probably not. I'm canceled also. I know it was looked like I fired it, but I really didn't. But that's the thing. That's what blew my mind about Rust. I was like, there's something didn't add up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's so many things can have to go wrong for something like that to happen, because there are already so many safety protocols in place.
Right.
And I think part of it was just that they had the union crew walk off and replace them all with non-union. And a lot of times...
I missed that detail.
Yeah. And a lot of times...
This just in.
Less.
Wow, I honestly did not know that. I knew that she was kind of she had two legs, but she looked like she just came from the 7-Eleven, and they were like, you know what? We have a job for you.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make you an armorer.
Exactly.
Well,
so there's a lot of complications there. But with this one, with Lucky Strike, it could also be bullets are very, very expensive. So I even remember when I did the Outpost, I had to do a week of basic training for that, and they were very, very stingy about the bullet, how many bullets they were allowed to use that week. I know this time, most of the shooting in the sequences I was in were all insert close-up shots, so that it was very focused on we're going to fire guns here, and part of that is a safety thing too, because then it's and then also with the close-ups too, you can really see the impact of the firing, because there's even with the blanks, there's that kickback and you feel it.
Definitely on Rust, real close.
Yeah, that was
sorry,
really
too soon. Well, when you're immersed in recreating the battle scenes and dramatizing human cruelty, how do you stay grounded and get in touch with joy again? Some of the questions come from our audience and producers.
It is tough, because it's all heavy subjects, and especially when it comes to war, there's also such a uh, feeling now in today's society of just there's a heaviness with everything,
I know.
and
We're in
especially
what, 400 wars right now? I mean, wars, not
exactly
wars, wars, not wars. We're sure not
according to
saving
our
bullets
president, we
there.
won all of them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, I like you already.
um,
I never go there usually, but
I
you passed.
I can pick up vibes.
Why? Because we're good people with
Yeah,
morals?
exactly. But so like, and it's what's tricky with this one too is it's like, the main selling point of this movie is we're killing Nazis. Which is
What?
an
How
enticing
convenient.
prospect, but weirdly could be controversial depending on who you talk to. Which is wild. But it's so there is a heaviness to everything we're doing, and especially when you're depicting real events and stuff like that. But what really helps is, I got really close on that set with a couple of guys. We were like staying in the same apartment building, and we pretty much spent almost all our free time together, and it was and
And
I remember
your character name was Aventi?
Venti, yes, and yes, they all call each other by like their last names. So yeah, there's Aventi was one of them. Aventi, Tops, Castle, um,
Bulge.
Bulge. Um, but and sometimes it was just like because we were sometimes standing out there in the cold for a very long time, and so like we would. I remember one time me and the other guys just started like shooting the shit, and like we like started improvising a Nazi musical called Nazis in the Mist while we were just standing around
I did not
waiting for
see
the
that
setup.
coming.
Not many people do. While we were just standing around waiting for them to set up the next shot, and and it's just a way to decompress and like between like the
Are
heavy
you
stuff.
a musical actor as well?
I'm a musical consumer, but I am not a musical actor.
So you were just definitely shooting
Yeah,
the shit.
definitely shooting the shit. It's not
Yeah.
something I
So
would
we're not going to see you
ever
in The
write or
Sound of
produce.
Music anytime soon.
Don't think so. Don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
The hilly mound is alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Well, you're
it's like
recently married, and I'm just going to say, Mary, that's some of your joy. Do you have kids? Oh, somebody's
hopefully on the
trying.
horizon.
Mama's
Hopefully on
going
the
to pull
horizon.
the Battle of the Bulge is coming. um, so, what are you most proud of from your performance in this film?
um, honestly, I think
You can
okay.
be more than one.
Yeah, I was going to say there might be a couple different answers here because
All right,
like
well, go ahead.
what one is just kind of like what through these experiences what I think the respect I've gained for the military and like um uh the knowledge I've gotten from like my research and the work on these films and getting to meet a lot of members of the military and whatnot. Um, uh, so that's more of like a personal thing that like I feel like has I've gained from that. But as far as like performance wise, um, a lot of it is just I have a number of just because I'm the radio guy in the movie. I'm the one that like controls. I monitor the radio. I control it and everything like that. Um, and I just have a lot of technical lingo in the film of just just the lingo of like of like calling out to other bases and and calling respond not. And so there was just a lot of that, and there was like a whole day in a van in one of the trucks of the other guys are having like I don't know a conversation, and I'm just in the background screaming technical shit into the radio.
Like
And
the
so like
it's like an actor on The Pit.
actually though, and so like I was very proud of myself for just being able to like doing and know what I'm talking about. because it's tough. It's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a full-time BSer, so I just pretend I know what I'm talking about also.
Yeah,
I mean, but
exactly.
that's kind of what we get to do. We basically get to play characters and bullshit and have fun.
Exactly.
And I love it. And I wouldn't change a thing. Well, maybe a
Same.
thing. I wouldn't mind being in Lucky Strike, but um, um, so this is a question that they propose, and I think, I mean, I'll ask it anyways, but I think it's obviously in your blood. But when did you get the acting bug?
So I always tell people I feel like I wanted to be an actor since I was like 3 years old, because like I don't really remember a time where I didn't. And I think part of it was that like I admired my grandfather, and I don't think I don't remember when I found out or knew or figured out like who he was or what he was or whatnot. But I definitely was always interested in that. Like I in the summers I do like little like summer stock like things as a little kid, where we put on fairy tales or whatever. And there are even a couple times I used to when I was like 10 and 11. I spent a few summers for like a couple weeks. I would go alone to my grandparents' house in Long Island and just spend a week by myself with them, which was like a good bonding opportunity with them. Because also, like, they live in New York, and I grew up in the Boston area because that's where my dad's family's from.
Okay.
So I didn't grow up like next door to them, basically. So we tried to see them when we could. But while I was there were a couple of summers where I would make little short films with them, which I think was kind of one of the early instances of me like doing something like on film, so to speak. I mean, they didn't go anywhere. There were little short films I made with my grandparents at their house, starring me and my cousins. But that was always fun, and getting to like, and like, that I learned a lot from my grandfather, because like I think he loved sharing his passion with me, and I always felt like, sometimes he would try to instill little knowledge he had as a little kid that I would like keep and stick with as I got older and actually started to really pursue this.
Is he your mom's side or dad's side?
Mom's side.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why I had a different last name.
See, I'm just as slow as some of our viewers.
You would be surprised how many times people mistake that.
I don't know. I honestly was not thinking clearly on that. But I did also notice, and from one son to another who has lost their father, my condolences for that. I know it's been a few years, but doing my homework, I know it's never easy. My dad was always supportive of me doing acting and anything on camera, or always he would always, had me entertain the neighbors all the time. So we missed them.
What was really special about Lucky Strike for me was my dad was a huge World War II buff. He was like I could go to a World War II museum with him, and we could go up to any piece of machinery, any artillery, anything, and he knew the name of it. He knew like what it was. He was like so smart with it, and like he also like he had like a huge World War II movie collection. Like that was like his thing. Anytime a new World War II movie came out, he sought it out. That was like a passion of his. Every book he read was like a World War II book. So like it was very meaningful to me to get to do this, because I know even if I wasn't in this movie, this is a movie he would have sought out, and a movie he would have really liked and would have been special to him. And it's been really hard for me recently that I can't share it with him, that he doesn't get the chance to see it. Or I went to we premiered the movie at the National Archive Museum in Washington last week. I kept thinking it would have been really cool to take him to that, because I think it would have been very meaningful. But I know that he's proud of me, and I know that he would have been the movie's #1 fan. I can tell you that.
That's awesome. Awesome. So you were just in DC last week. Was the reflecting pool blue or green? Did you see it?
I took my mom to the premiere, and we insisted on staying as far away from the White House as possible. Although we could, in the distance, see the arch of the UFC fighting ring, which
Face plant.
which I think gave my mom hives. So
Obama wore a tan suit. God. Anyway, yeah, I know. I have no desire to go there until hopefully something changes. But
yeah.
So great. So next week, Lucky Strike opens in theaters June 26th. Check out Scott Alda Coffey in there as Aventi. But what are some of your favorite films? Do you like comedies or?
I like an array of genres.
I love Mrs. Doubtfire is one of my favorites. I love Robin Williams.
I just watched that again recently.
Notting Hill.
It's a good film.
So I always classify a movie as like one of my favorites is if I'm scrolling through TV and it happens to be on, I can just literally start watching it in the middle and watch the whole thing, rather than actually focus to watch it. But that would be, sorry, I know I asked you the question and now hijacked it. So Mrs. Doubtfire, because I love Robin Williams, Notting Hill, and Coming to America are like three of my all-time favorites.
My all-time favorites is I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So I always say I always compile the three Lord of the Rings extended editions as like one movie. But I watch those pretty much like once a year.
Oh yeah, well it's always on. Yeah. I mean that's realistically that is one of the ones. I mean if it's on and it's a rainy day, well,
exactly. I always say Lord of the Rings. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. Up there as one of my favorites. I am very basic, and I also say The Godfather. I just think it's a classic and just a perfectly made film. Another one that always throws people for a loop when I list these, Chicago. I think Chicago is a perfect film.
You definitely have a wide variety of favorites there. So
I do.
That's good. You sound like you're definitely an interesting person. Thank God. Otherwise the podcast would be boring. Well, great. Well, those are all the questions that we had from our viewers and producers. And thank you for that. That brings us to our next segment. There we are. Boy, don't put me in charge of an armory with one leg. So it's called Sticky Notes. And yes, Sticky Notes. So I'm going to hold up a note and you have to immediately answer. And it goes something like this. Who's your favorite actor? Dead or alive?
My grandfather. Aha.
Favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Cocktail or mocktail?
Mocktail.
Really? And your go-to?
I like, oh God, what's it called?
Shirley Temple? No.
I'm like spacing on the name of it.
That's all right. Dream roll.
Oh, dream roll. Honestly, I would love to do a multicam sitcom.
Me too. Let's talk.
Seriously.
Sorry. All right. And last but not least, favorite porn star. Just kidding. You're not even
myself. Okay.
Oh. With those eyes and the Battle of the Bulge, I think we have one. All right. And that's Sticky Notes. Good job. Yeah, yourself. Okay. Well, this has been awesome. We do have one final segment. We have a few seconds left, and it's called Honey Please. And that's where you basically get to verbally smack someone or something that is annoying you. And I'll go first. So my Honey Please right now goes to the reflecting pool that we brought up earlier. Now they're pouring hydrogen peroxide in it. No concern about any of the wildlife or little ducks that are swimming in there. And now it's only got a ring around it as of today, where it's clear and the middle is still green. But we can throw blame at former presidents all we want. But the proof is right there. So honey, please stop worrying about the reflecting pool and let's get back to doing what really matters in America.
Yeah.
And your honey, please.
I guess my honey, please, would be that UFC fighter that decided to take an opportunity to call Michelle Obama a man. Because that's...
Oh, by the way, we're going to put a
patriotic.
picture up of him. There's a shot of him where he literally has a camel toe. So don't throw stones in glass houses, Mr. UFC or KFC,
Seriously.
whatever you are. Yeah, it's just like, okay.
Joke.
Yeah, because that's really patriotic. Like, honey, please. Awesome. Well, Scott Alda Coffey, you have been a pleasure to talk with. Thank you for joining us on the Hot Honey Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Killarney's Public House, Proving Ground Waterfront, and Street Kitchen Pub. We thank you for your support, and thank you for watching the Hot Honey Podcast.